No matter who you are, no matter in which position you are playing, Luis Alberto will make you score. This is Lazio Lounge.
At the Olimpico, early on in this Serie A season, it's Immobile! Superb penalty! Sends the Olimpico wild. Lazio in front against the new money of Milan.
I think you'd have to say after the initial opening 10 minutes of the game, they've deserved it. They've been the better side. They've looked the more dangerous.
Welcome to Lazio Lounge, episode 24. I'm Vittorio Campanile, with me again, Alasdair McKenzie, to talk about Bologna-Lazio. Alasdair, as I told you before the match started, I thought it was going to be a very complicated match.
Yeah, I have that kind of feeling about it in a midweek game away from home and against a team who, have actually been in decent form this season. I know they lost in the build-up to this game, but before then they had 3 wins in a row. So yeah, it wasn't going to be easy. But then again, after the first 45 minutes, Lazio were absolutely brilliant in the first half, and really should have put the game to bed in the same way that they did against Cagliari. It was unfortunate that didn't happen, Vittorio, and that it was obviously it's good to get the win, but it's a bit of a shame that the second half was so poor in comparison.
I mean, in football, if you have so many chances, Lazio hit the post like 4 times in the first half, and the score was only 2-0. That's, in football, in the second half, the other team is going to come out and do the best to beat you, and that's what happened. You even miss a penalty, so I was really concerned at the halftime that something bad would happen. The good sign, if you want to see it, is that in the end, Lazio came back with 3 points that are really important, but Lazio really struggled in the second half.
Yeah, and do you reckon it's probably just a case of fatigue as well, building up over the games? I mean, it's particularly testing time to have a midweek round of Serie A fixtures because we've just had a Europa League round as well, and then have another one next week. So this is a really tough run for Lazio building up to the derby, actually. So despite I think the one thing we can be grateful for is the fixture list in terms of these league games being against teams lower down the league rather than having our big games right now leading up to the derby. And Benevento on Sunday is absolutely ideal fixture to come at this point. So it'll be interesting to see then if Inzaghi decides to rotate the team much, because judging by the second half, it's clear that they are starting to kind of feel the strain of how many games have been playing a little bit.
One thing is Milinkovic-Savic. He's a top player. I said it. He started. He scored today. He scored twice against Nice. But I'm starting to get the feeling that sometimes he wants to put up a show instead of closing the match, scoring again and put Lazio in a safe position. Don't know if you had the same impression too tonight.
I thought he was brilliant tonight. I thought he was absolutely dominating that kind of midfield battle. His distribution was very good, and his touch was. I mean, there are a couple of moments where his touch was just out of this world. So I don't know. I mean, I know what you mean. Sometimes you do get a sense of that from him, but I thought he was one of our best, if not our best player on the pitch tonight, actually. I mean, again, particularly in the first half, it's just such a difference between the first half and second half performances, unfortunately. But the first half, just the way he was linking up with Luis Alberto in midfield was just absolutely brilliant. It was, it's just not only the amount of chances they created, but the manner in which they do it and the football that we're actually playing is such attractive football. They're keeping the ball on the ground, lots of triangular, first touch passes and just opening up space. And Alberto was just absolutely carving them open with his range of passes in that first half as well. I thought the midfield in that 45 minutes were as good as they've been all season, I think.
To be honest, in the first half, if the score was 5-0, I think Lazio didn't steal nothing. We were absolutely hammering Bologna from the start, I think. That's the thing that scared me more. You have to close that type of match, because otherwise the other team will gain confidence, and you will be tired because Lazio played a lot of matches. So yeah, I was scared. Again, seeing the positive side is, in the past, maybe last year as well, Lazio would have drawn this match. Instead, this year they won. They bring back 3 points. This means that the team has probably more experience, more confidence than the past years. But you can do it against Bologna, who is a good team. But if you do the same performance against Napoli or Fiorentina, etc., I'm not sure you're going to go home with 3 points.
Yeah, but it's so important to come through these games, isn't it? And
absolutely.
Like you said, it's something that Lazio have not been able to do in the past. So the difference we've got here is that we've got a team that's capable of building that lead up in the first half and actually scoring the goals. I mean, like I said the same thing last week. There's never really any stage at which I'm worried that Lazio aren't going to score at some point. So as long as they can keep it tight at the back, then we're okay. And Bologna were on the front foot for most of that second half, but actually the only way they managed to score in the end was by a pretty bad error from Lulic. And I thought all 3 centre-backs had pretty good games tonight. So, despite how much Lazio dropped off and, that being on the edge of your seat at the 90th minute kind of thing, Bologna didn't actually create too many clear chances, despite being in a position where they really should have probably made more of their kind of dominance.
Hello? Are you there? Okay, it's better. Yes, let's talk about Luis Alberto. I mean, again, first half, very, very good. The assist he made to Lulic was terrific. The goalkeeper of Bologna made silly mistakes for me there, but the idea only of putting the ball there is totally genius.
Yeah, and the first thing that made me think of actually was how we've been discussing before the fact that Alberto has been tinkered with in that regista role before, and that's a kind of glimpse of what he would be able to do from that kind of deeper midfield role. I mean, his range of passing is absolutely brilliant, and he's been in such good form off the striker, but it goes to show that actually he would be a danger a bit further back down the pitch as well. And I don't want to discuss something we've already discussed a few times in terms of Felipe Anderson's reintegration and so on, but I think that assist tonight was quite a good glimpse of what Alberto would be able to offer from a deeper position as well.
Yes. We got the first questions. I don't know if you want to start to reply. We have Ibrahim Albeiti. A good game from Adam Marusic, I presume he's talking about. Do you agree, Al? I know that you have a special relationship with him.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. I mean, again, I think it's the same thing for me. I think he was good in an attacking sense, and he offered quite a lot going forward. But again, I think at the back he doesn't convince me too much. And I think Bologna had actually thought about targeting him for this game because their winger Krejci, who's a very talented winger, and I think they were hoping to kind of peg back Marasic a bit with Krejci on the left-hand side, and he did cause him a few problems. And I remember right at the end of the game, actually, Marasic had to come across and make what looked like a very good recovering tackle, but the commentator pointed out at that point that actually it looked like a very good recovering tackle, but Marasic was completely out of position in the first instance to actually have to make it. So I think defensively I still do have issues with Marasic, but he's definitely growing and getting better, which does fill me with confidence, because I think the fact that Patrick was taken on for him with a the last 5 minutes to go is probably it shows that Inzaghi feels the same way and that he doesn't trust him necessarily to be the one to see a game out, despite what Patrick did in the last minute against Juventus. I realise there's some irony there, but yeah, I think he's definitely getting better.
Obviously, we have to talk of what happened with Lulic. Ibrahim, asked what happened, why he said and was very angry. I thought he was tired. I thought the change was perfect because Lulic wasn't running as well as before, and so Bologna could attack the right side. So that could be a dangerous situation. So I thought the what Inzaghi did was perfect. I was really surprised that the captain of your team behaved like that for the substitution. I don't know if there's going to be consequences. Inzaghi stared at Lulic a lot after the substitution. I don't know if the two talked during the match. Probably this will happen afterwards. But I don't know you. I was surprised. Lulic is the perfect team player, the one that helps everybody. I didn't expect nothing like that from him. Don't know your idea.
No, it did come as a surprise. I do kind of wonder if this is a longer running thing that's kind of built up as frustration for him that he's being substituted so often, because Inzaghi's made that change so often throughout the season to bring on Lukaku on the 60th minute or so. And, being the captain of the team, maybe he feels entitled to be on the pitch, but it's not the way a captain should behave. Rami El-Gendi actually wrote in about this with a very strong reaction, saying, "I don't care who you are, what Lulic did is disgraceful and no Lazio captain should behave that way, and that he should be stripped of the captaincy." I think it's too soon to talk about things like that. I think once things calm down and we hear from Inzaghi to see what the fuss was about, then we can kind of work it out. It is a strange one, isn't it? Especially
Absolutely.
Because, like you say, the player it's come from, but also because it's so out of character with the whole kind of team ethos and the way the team's been interacting with each other. And we've talked a lot about the great team atmosphere that's been able to be generated in the dressing room throughout the season. So it's a big surprise, and I hope it doesn't. Really hope this isn't one of those things that kind of snowballs into being a big deal.
Even Moses, directly from our Spreaker page, asked the same question about Lulic and what do we think Inzaghi will do with him. I honestly believe they're going to talk after this match, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, and fix things. I don't believe that Inzaghi is going to strip Lulic from being the captain. I simply believe there's going to be a big discussion. As you said, the wingers have been subs often, but it's even true that with the 3-5-2, they are the one that runs more during the match, so they get tired earlier, and it makes totally sense to make them come out. I believe as well Lulic was really upset for the goal because don't know if you saw the images, but it's an own goal. He's putting the ball in the net, so probably he was trying to score again to make up with the own goal, and maybe for that reason he was so upset. And then when you're tired, sometimes you're not able to contain yourself, you get tired, you get nervous, etc. So don't know if you, Alasdair, agree with me, but I think it's not enough to remove Lulic from the captain. And the locker voted Lulic, so I think the team is with him.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. It's definitely far too soon to take any action that drastic. It's something he's not happy about that they'll have to address. But yeah, I think he's the captain for a reason, and you don't want to cause any sort of rifts. So I think Inzaghi is, he's a nice guy. He's an approachable guy, and I think he should be able to sort this out. Lulic, I think, to be honest, must just be a bit frustrated with himself as well. I mean, he's like we mentioned before on here, his own personal levels of performance this season haven't been very good, and I reckon he might be a bit threatened by Lukaku coming back into the team again. Because he knows his place is up for grabs, and it definitely is, because he hasn't been good enough at times this season. And I was saying to you just before we came on air that it was a bit of a shame tonight, because in that first half I thought finally we're actually getting a good game out of Lulic tonight. And
you spoke too early.
Yeah. But yeah, he was beating his defender. He's did well to score that goal. In an attacking sense, he was really threatening, and
he did even the assist for Milinkovic for the first goal.
Yeah, of course. So a goal and an assist is great, and then a goal at the other end as well. And we'd seen the the tide shifting in that direction when he accidentally forced Strakosha into an amazing save as well.
Yeah.
A header in the first half. So it's a shame. It's a shame to see things like that kind of happen when spirits are so high. And if you compare it as well to Alberto's substitution, where he just came off, walked straight over to Inzaghi and gave him a big bear hug, and looked quite happy with himself. So that's the kind of reaction you want to see.
I think Luis Alberto wasn't happy as well to be sub, but you behave differently. One thing, this is the first match in Serie A this season Lazio win when Ciro Immobile doesn't score. This tells you that Lazio is not Immobile dependent?
Well, we've got a few people mentioning this. Actually, Ibrahim Albetti again said we didn't see Ciro in the second half. We have another comment from Rami Ogendi again saying Immobile was very bad today in front of goal. Could have cost us the point. Is he tired or just not focusing? I hope it shows we're not Immobile dependent, but then again, it should have been a lot more comfortable than it was, and I don't think I can possibly criticise Immobile. After what he's done this season, I don't think it would be right. So he's also very unlucky. Before people jump on his back and say that he was very bad today, I would say that, look, the first chance when he hits the post, he does really well with it. He takes it round the goalkeeper. He's on his left foot and he manages to angle it in towards the goal, and he's unlucky to miss for it to hit the post. Penalty's a penalty. He's got it wrong, but and his kind of third really good chance one-on-one, it's still not an easy finish. So I would say the chances he's missed tonight haven't been, glaring opportunities where you're very, very worried about, it might be a dip in form. I just think it's, if anything, encouraging to see him still getting into those positions, and the way that he was kind of latching onto Alberto's passes and making those runs, and his movement is so good. So I'm not worried. I think it's a momentary blip rather than an actual problem.
Yeah, I totally agree. My biggest concern is I saw Immobile more tired than in the other match, especially in the second half. You could see that he wasn't running as he usually is. Even one of the differences, even in the last 5-10 minutes when he's really tired, he's still able to sprint and anticipate the defender, etc. Today he wasn't able. You can see he was tired. So I don't know. I was a little bit surprised that Luis Alberto came out and Nani came in instead of subbing Ciro Immobile, that for me was more tired than Luis Alberto. Then Nani finally had a good performance. I think we saw a glimpse of the talent of this incredible player. And to be honest, coming in that situation is really tough. You're not playing to score, you're playing to waste time, etc. So for a attacker like him, it's very difficult. But he did 2-3 things really, really amazing, especially the counter-attack when he got the yellow card. He made that skill that was unbelievable. And without that fall, I thought... I really think that Lazio could have been dangerous and maybe scored. So I'm really pleased to see Nani playing that well. But if I'm Inzaghi there, I take off Immobile and maybe put in Caseido.
Yeah, I think we were both surprised on Sunday when Immobile wasn't substituted, and again surprised tonight as well. I mean, it's quite hard to say exactly what Inzaghi was thinking with not trying to rest him. Perhaps he is planning on starting Immobile on the bench against Benevento on Sunday. I'm not sure. Maybe he thinks Benevento are weak enough that he can try and put somebody else up there. In terms of Nani, though, I think, I agree with what you've said. I think we really did see a glimpse tonight of what he can offer in that position, which is really encouraging, actually. But it was also very surprising for me because he made far more of an impression in 10 minutes in a difficult match tonight than he did in half an hour in an easy match on Sunday. So on Sunday I really wasn't too impressed by him and didn't really come out of it with much encouragement. But yeah, tonight I think you start to see what he can offer there. His technical ability is clearly very high, and he also has a good eye for pass. Played a couple of really clever passes that didn't quite work out, but yeah, he's if we can get him playing 90 minutes, it'll be very interesting because we haven't really had much of a chance to see that yet. But a good option, definitely.
We have a question from Twitter, from Christopher Thomas. Great 3 points to keep pressure on the top of the table, but they should have done better, I think. No points are guaranteed, but that was shaky. Yes, it was shaky, and we said it. Lazio should have closed the match in the first half. In the second half, I thought a lot of key players were tired, and that's why Bologna was most dangerous. But as well, Alasdair, I don't remember an incredible save by Strakosha. So there was a lot of pressure from Bologna, but the defenders were great. Again, another amazing performance from Bastos.
Yeah, I thought that, like I said earlier, I think the back three were all really good tonight. And yeah, I think the best save Strakosha made tonight was from Lulic. So yeah, I think the one thing I would say is, from these kind of set pieces, there were a few coming kind of in-swinging set pieces coming into the 6-yard box, and the defence were managing to deal with him. But I was shouting at the time, saying, where's Strakosha? He should be gathering these. I think he's perhaps still a bit hesitant to come out and collect those.
Especially on the corner kick, yeah.
Well, yeah, free kicks and corner kicks, just a few that were kind of, curling in towards his goal, and you can't always come out to meet them, obviously, but some that were, I think if it's on the 6-yard line or closer, the goalkeeper has to be there, taking that or punching that, and he wasn't doing that tonight. So I think that's one part of his game I'd like to see him improve on a bit, is to kind of dominate the penalty box in those kind of crowded areas a bit more.
But it's true that when you have players like De Vrij, Bastos, Milinkovic, you need it less because they're so good with the header. They jump so high that they are able to save you in that occasion. We have another question from our Spreaker channel. Remember, Lazio Lounge, we're live there. You can ask questions on our Spreaker channel. La710. I think Inzaghi didn't want to get Ciro out, just not to keep up his moral and to avoid another Lulic scenario. What do you think about that, Alasdair?
So basically saying he didn't want to take Ciro out in case he was upset.
Yeah. Especially after missing the penalty.
To be honest, having a look at Ciro, it's quite hard to believe that, just because he looks absolutely exhausted half the time. So you can imagine more him going onto the bench and instead of shouting, just falling asleep straight away. No, well, I don't think so. I don't think Inzaghi would be influenced by things like that too much, to be honest. You mentioned the look he gave Lulic earlier, and I loved that. That was, that just that kind of cold, hard stare where like you've been a naughty boy and later on you're in trouble. So I don't know. I doubt that was on his mind with Ciro. I think probably more that the more Bologna were pressing up the pitch, the more space there was behind And actually, the fact that there was the likes of Nani and Milinkovic-Savic still on the pitch, and Parolo, who are all capable of picking a pass, maybe he just thought Ciro Immobile is more likely than Caicedo to actually get onto the end of it and go and win the game, because a goal at that stage would have won it, definitely. And in the end, there was an absolutely brilliant chance that did fall from a counter-attack to Parolo, which he messed up. But I don't know, perhaps I would suggest that maybe that was in his mind more than worrying about upsetting him. I don't know.
I think with players like Immobile or Milinkovic-Savic, you're always thinking twice before take them off, because they can change the match with the, one touch. We saw it at Nice. Milinkovic was playing terribly, badly, and then he scored 2 goals, in a couple of minutes. Same thing happens with Immobile. Was it against Vitesse? He didn't do pretty much nothing. No, the other match. He came in and didn't do nothing, and then in the last minute he scored a goal. So probably Inzaghi thought, well, I'm keeping Ciro because he can score anytime, even if he's not playing at his best level. I think in the mind of the coach, you think about these things. Yeah, he's tired, he's not playing well, but he's still a star. He can turn out the match with 1 touch, even in the days he's not playing at that level.
Yeah, I'm sure he's spoken to him about it and said, look, how are you feeling? And the problem you'll get is someone like Ciro Immobile will probably always say, I want to play every minute I can. But so he's going to have to manage that himself. But, if Ciro's fitness levels were genuinely a worry, I think he would have taken him up. Another comment I just wanted to pick up, we've had here from DC saying the best start to a campaign ever. More points after 10 games than the year that we won the league, 25 this season, 21 in 99-2000. I think the problem there is that obviously absolutely scintillating start, but everyone else is having a great start as well. So it's like, it kind of reminds me of last season where Napoli and Roma both managed to get record points totals in Serie A, but they still didn't get anywhere near Juventus. So, I think it's the start to the season's been absolutely brilliant, but I would stop short of kind of making a comparison with Scudetto winning year, even still now. Still thinking the same way. Wait till January and we can reassess what the objectives are at that point.
One of the most important thing is Serie A has changed a lot compared to those years to now. In the past, the average team would take a lot of points from the top team. Now you see, Napoli going down against Genoa after a couple of minutes, and then 10 minutes later, Napoli is winning, scoring twice. This would never happen 10 years ago. If Genoa goes ahead against Napoli, probably, if Napoli is lucky, is going to draw. Instead, Genoa, Fiorentina, Bologna, Cagliari, you see that when they play against Juventus, they always lose. And this is something that is changing in Serie A and changed in La Liga, etc., etc. The gap between the top team and the other one is becoming wider, and so that's why Lazio having a better start this year, and you can really not make comparison between now and 10 years ago. So at least that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's also worth saying though that the gap may have widened in Serie A, but Lazio weren't necessarily expected to be one of those teams that were up there in the top of that gap. So the fact that we're managing to win these games is
you're right.
The team and the coach, because it's something that, for example, Milan haven't managed to do so far this season, despite all the money they've spent and everything. So it's not as easy as it sometimes can be made to look, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. And it's good to see Lazio is part of those top team, especially, it wasn't expected, especially after the summer with Milan spending so heavily in the transfer market, and Lazio didn't spend that much at least. So it's good to see Lazio in the top side of the Serie A. Let's hope it keeps like that. Alasdair, we have to talk about a couple of things. One, the new logo. You love it?
I love it. Yeah. How do you feel about it?
It wasn't my favorite, but let me.
Spoken.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the fans voted for that, then I'm absolutely happy. And I want to thank my big friend David Miller for designing the new logo. Really, thank you very much for the time you take for doing it. My suggestion, etc. Thank you for the time, and I think it's a great logo, and I hope fans will love it.
Yeah, brilliant. Second all those comments. I think it's great for it to have people to, actually use their professional expertise to help us out. Is fantastic, and I think it hopefully makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And the second thing we have to talk about is what happened last Sunday in the Curva Sud with that picture with Anna Frank with the Roma shirt. It created a lot of discussion in Italy. I'm not sure what happened abroad. But yeah, I mean, it's very easy to attack Lazio on that side. And I mean, I don't want even to say that Lazio fans are not racist. We have example of Lazio fans all over the world. We know what really Lazio fans are. Then, you cannot judge them for 10 idiots that did these stupid things. Don't know if you want to add something to close it.
Yeah, I mean, all I want to say about it really is that it's just so frustrating for the rest of us. When I say the rest of us, I mean the vast majority of us as Lazio fans. When we're the ones who kind of end up suffering from the acts of, an idiotic minority. This isn't the first time. It won't be the last time. But the team is achieving amazing things this season. That's what the focus should be on. But instead, these people have gone out and created controversy, which they knew would create controversy with their acts, and for what? For what reason? I mean, I just don't understand it. So obviously Lazio are a target, though. I mean, the media reaction to it has been, absolutely ridiculous, really, and the club's being used as a bit of a scapegoat, as it generally is. Obviously, we all condemn what's happened and are completely against it, but then you see, Roma fans being charged for racist chanting 5 days ago, and there was no kind of national outcry about how to stop racism in Italian football at that point. So
no, absolutely.
we could, the examples go on, but I think it just comes down to the fact that we need to make our voices heard as Lazio fans above these idiots, and make sure that they know they're the minority. That's the most important.
Yeah, the most disappointing thing for us that are living abroad is when you say, I'm a Lazio fan, the second question is, so you're racist. And, this is really annoying. So, yeah, it was time. We should stop doing these stupid things. Well, we don't do it, obviously. These idiots should be isolated and never have a chance again to come and see Lazio. We were talking about Lulic. Simone Inzaghi in the press conference talked about it, obviously. He said that obviously Lulic wasn't happy to get off, but I have to make a decision for the benefit of the team. I have an incredible relationship with him, and we already spoke and we already solved the problem, so there's nothing there.
That's really good to hear. I mean, it's more or less what you'd expect to hear, I suppose, afterwards. So yeah, great stuff, and I hope everything he said is true. But I mean, these things happen in football. It's an emotional game,
absolutely.
And he's an emotional guy, so you can move on.
Yeah, it happened even between us, right? Last time I subbed you, you weren't happy.
Oh God! Don't bring that up again.
We have another question from Spreaker. for Addi, who's again talking about what happened and saying, unfortunately, Lotito's effort to salvage the situation kind of blew up in his face. Yes, this is something I was speaking with a friend of mine, and one thing I guess you will agree, even though I presume outside Italy or outside people that reads Italian, it's different. But every single time Lotito does an interview or goes on TV, etc., it's an own goal. He makes terrible mistake. His way of talking, his behavior is negative, and he shouldn't talk. Never. He should never be allowed to talk. You have a press agent who should be talking in his place, because every time he's a mess. And so basically he made a mistake. Instead of saying that he went to the synagogue, he said he went to the Muslim church, and obviously the journalist made a remark about that. So yeah, I mean, Lotito has other good things. Obviously, talking and communication isn't his best skill. I would put it that way.
No, that's putting it quite nicely, I think. I mean, it's kind of amazing how a public figure like him, who's been in the media spotlight for so long, still is so bad at actually dealing with these kind of events. And you know, it's quite a simple thing he needs to do really here, and he's managed to it's blown up in his face, like the comment said. So I think I wasn't particularly surprised to see that happen, but again, it's just another thing that reflects quite badly on the club, isn't it? If the club president goes out and makes mistakes, then it's not helping the situation for the rest of us who are trying to help out.
Yep, we have a question from Pablo on Twitter. Provided it's nothing serious with Inzaghi, actually glad to see Lulic getting angry. Shows they're taking this seriously. Great win. Yeah, obviously, I think, especially when the team is performing so well, when there are a lot of victories, no one wants to get out because they feel, they're winning and they are part of that. So you never want to lose your job or get out, and everybody wants to play all the match. So it's good to see that everybody wants to be part of it. And on the other hand, it's good to see players that didn't have the chance to play that much, that every time they come in, they give everything they have. And it's good to see the group. I think that's the secret. It's pointing in the same direction. We said it already in the past, probably with Keita and Biglia inside the group, there weren't everybody focused on the same thing.
Yeah, there's something you flagged up on Sunday, actually, the fact that when people were being substituted off, they didn't look happy about it, and that's actually, it's a good thing. I think you can channel that anger into being a positive thing, and if you have an angry team, you have a hungry team, which is what you want. So as long as I think it's a good thing for nobody to feel too secure in their positions. There are definitely a few players in that team who will be more than secure in their positions, but it's good to have a kind of healthy competition. And as long as it doesn't, go too far the other way, I'd say, you don't want too much anger in case
you want
up with kind of rifts,
fights in the locker room. I want to play, but we have to say, and this is probably credit to Simone Inzaghi and his staff, that we started this summer in August saying, well, probably Lazio has 12, 13 players of the same level. Now we are in end of October, and we both believe that there are more players that are able to play without making the level of the team go down. And that's really good, because with all this competition, it's good to see that Lazio have a bigger team able to play. Nani's fit, Casado proved to be good, Murcia, we already knew him, Luis Felipe, it's a good surprise, and so on. So it's good to see that there are a lot of options now for Inzaghi, and especially with the season so long, that's really good to see. And it's different compared to August, where we thought Felipe Luis was just a guy there because Tare wasn't able to sign another defender.
Well, he was really, though, wasn't he? I mean, Inzaghi's done well to bring him in, and and he's performed better than expected in the chances he's got. But I don't think Tare should get any credit for that. I think the club were looking to sign someone and just failed to. But yeah, like you say, it's a surprise, and it's nice to get these surprises and these young players developing and so on. And obviously, there's the guys who are out injured: Basta, Wallace, Anderson. So once, I think, I can't even imagine a day when Lazio have a fully fit, full-strength squad with no injury problems whatsoever. But if that does ever happen, it'll be quite an interesting number of decisions for Inzaghi to make. And the other thing is to remember, though, is that if you're talking about where you fit all these players into the same team, maybe you don't have to. Football's a 14-player game, so you can use these guys for 45 minutes each if you choose, and he's got the flexibility. If they're not starting, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to have an impact on the match. So
Lukaku, Lukaku is the perfect example, I think. He comes in when the other team is tired, and with his pace, he's making the difference. But coming back a little bit to what I was saying, imagine now next Sunday, Luis Felipe is going to start. You're not going to be concerned about that. While if the 10th of August, I would tell you, next match, you're going to play with a Felipe Luis starting, I guess you wouldn't be so you would be very worried about that, So things have changed.
Yeah, definitely. And the more he plays, the more settled he'll be as well. I mean, a guy like Strakosha as well, it's worth remembering that Strakosha is a guy who, this is his first full season as number one at Lazio, and it's easy to forget that because he played so many games last season, but also that he's just become the kind of undisputed number one, and he's played so well, particularly the Juventus game, and he's a new kind of fan favourite really. But at the same time, this is a guy who should still be improving a lot. This is, like I say, the first full season he's having as a Serie A player, so there's a lot more to come from a lot of these guys, which is good as well.
About Strakosha, what I like is how he moves, how he behaves in the match. He looks calm, he looks relaxed, and I think he's giving this confidence to all the team. And it's good when you have a goalkeeper so calm, so relaxed in every type of match. Supercoppa Italia final, he was like that. Derby, he was like that. Against Bologna, etc. That's really good to see it. Sometimes you forget that he's only 22.
Yeah, definitely, and it's also a bit of a change from Federico Marchetti, who about 5 espressos before every match, and Marchetti was a good keeper, and I'm still a big fan of his, but he was capable of some really impressive games, but also some really bad mistakes. And with Strakosha, so far, we've not really seen the big mistakes so much. And yeah, like you say, 22 years old. If you think of the lifespan of a goalkeeper, and Gigi Buffon, this isn't a comparison, but talking about goalkeepers, how he's just been named the world's best goalkeeper, age 39. So, they do last a lot longer. So if we take care of Strakosha, he could be around for quite a long time.
And I believe that at the moment, if he's not the best goalkeeper in Serie A, he's in the top 3, for sure.
I certainly think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And perhaps that's also because Lazio have kind of hit the headlines as being an attacking team and a very attractive team to watch, which is fair enough because they've been scoring lots of goals and some very nice players. But as a result of that, the likes of guys who've been doing really well this season, like Radu and Strakosha, perhaps aren't getting the credit they deserve. But we've talked about this before, and yeah, it may well be a good thing. Not necessarily now that he's signed a new contract. I'm a bit happier for him to get a bit more credit now, to be honest, because we're a bit more secure that he's going to be sticking around. But yeah, it's crazy to compare, for example, the media attention a guy like Strakosha gets compared to Gigi Donnarumma at Milan, who obviously is a bit younger, but I mean, I don't think there's an awful lot between them in terms of ability, and is already kind of being pinned up as the heir to Buffon. So
Addy on Spreaker, on our Spreaker channel, where you can ask questions, say that he's been admiring us, even you. That's unbelievable, not only me. And he's a diehard Lazio fan from Bahrain, and he wants to tell us that there's a huge, strong fan base in Arab of Lazio. So big shout out to all the Lazio fan in the Arabic world, and follow us.
Yeah, tell all your friends, send them our way. I mean, it's great to have, obviously we're only just starting to experiment with the live shows, so it's great that even in number 2 we're already getting such good kind of feedback from people. So I suppose if you do like this format, then let us know.
Absolutely. If you like this live show just after the match, just tell us. We are happy to do it. So obviously, when Mr. Alasdair is available, he's a very busy man.
One other thing I just wanted to bring up was just from a comment from Christopher Thomas here, talking about Benevento. Should be another win this weekend, but you never know with these smaller teams. The Spal result was a shock, and I hope it's more convincing this weekend. Benevento, Vittorio, they've had an absolute disaster so far. It's not looking like it's going to do much for Danilo Cataldi or Cristiano Lombardi's careers so far, their loan moves. Can you think of any reason Lazio aren't going to win this game, or after the Spal result, like Christopher Thomas points out, should we be a bit more careful about how we view these games?
Only one reason, you ask me? I mean, only one reason. I mean, I already see Cataldi scoring against Lazio.
I wanted to clear this up. Is Cataldi definitely allowed to play against Lazio? There's no clause in the contract.
It doesn't exist in Italy. That type of law exists all in England. And to be honest, they are not. UEFA doesn't allow them. So I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago when Courtois was playing Atletico Madrid, and there were rumors in the English press that he couldn't play in the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Chelsea. There was a press release by UEFA saying that that clause is not valid for the UEFA, so that couldn't be happening. So no chance. And I can see Cataldi scoring all the time. Now the question is, Lazio will start 1-0 down. Will they be able to score a couple of goals against Benevento? I hope so. I believe so. And on the other side, I'm expecting not a huge, but an important turnover. We saw people tired today. I wouldn't be surprised if Immobile didn't start today against Benevento, if maybe one of the 3 defenders would rest against Benevento. Maybe Parolo didn't look great today, so he could rest and Murcia could play. I see a little bit of changing there. So this could be a little bit trickier. But as I said at the beginning, the gap between the top team and the small team has become huge. So I expect even the second team of Lazio should be able to win against Benevento. Then you have to see how the other team play, if they're lucky, if they are very focused, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, and the other good thing here is that even if that does happen and Inzaghi does rotate the team a lot, I don't have nearly the same trepidation about the idea of a second team playing in a game like this just because of the way they performed against Nice. I think that reassured me a lot. I mean,
yeah,
if Inzaghi can make that many changes to the team and they still win away against the third best team in France, they surely won't have too many problems at home to Benevento, who haven't got a point all season. So I'm not convinced Inzaghi will make wholesale changes. I think for a league game, and with the knowledge of how important momentum is, and also that the Europa League group is already looking pretty good, I would say that perhaps 2 or 3, but I'd be surprised to see him make 6 or 7 changes to the
I wouldn't be surprised, especially because they're playing home. So I can see that happen. Especially because today we saw players tired. I mean, as I said before, I never saw Immobile so tired. Parolo missed an incredible chance at the end, maybe because he was very tired. The three defenders, to be honest, played great till the last second of the match. So they could play again, but maybe giving an extra rest to Farai would be a nice idea. And I know Inzaghi is very careful in this to give the right rest to everybody. So yeah, I'm expecting a big turnover. Said this, Caicedo proved to be able to play instead of Immobile, at least in some matches, and be decisive. So I believe there are going to be some changes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as well to see at what stage we might get a sight of Bruno Giordano, because he's been called up to the squad for the last few games now. We've still not seen him in any kind of first team action. I mean, we were asked about him a few weeks ago, him and Pedro Neto, if we're going to see much of them this season. I said at the time I wasn't expecting much. But yeah, Giordano's been getting in the squad recently, so I wonder if maybe the latter kind of Europa League games, say for example we've already won the group, if we might get a sight of him as well. It'd be quite interesting, I think, if there's nothing to lose to put him in there and see how they do, kind of thing, just to if they spring and take to it very easily, then suddenly you've got a couple more options there.
Absolutely, and you're right. I mean, probably if the match against Benevento goes really well in the first half, he can have a chance to play in Serie A in the second half, and and that type of match would be the perfect debut for him, and we can see his skills. He looks really talented. Maybe Inzaghi will give him a go. So that could be another good option. Do we have other questions?
No.
Rami Algendi is giving, it's saying that
They're playing away again.
at Benevento, not home. So you're wrong.
Okay.
And he would play with the best team and rest against Nice Thursday. I'm not sure. I mean, Nice is still a competitive team. I would prefer playing with the subs against Benevento than rather against Nice. But you have to see even what happened with in La Ligue 1, as Nice is not performing really well. They're struggling. So maybe they decide to rest the starter against Lazio, so that changed everything. But I think now the important thing these days is to recover, see if Wallace is able to play, because that was the initial plan, to recover and play against Benevento, or at least be called against Benevento. But as we said at the start of this show, winning this type of match for Lazio is fundamental. We saw this season Lazio is very focused in the top match, but then at this type of matches against Bologna, Cagliari, etc., that can make really the difference. So it's good to win.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is down to momentum as well, isn't it? Because we don't really want to be at risk of losing any games at the moment, because we want to have the most momentum possible going into the Rome derby. Another 3 games to go before then, but that's going to be huge, obviously, because it's a derby, but on top of that, because it's another chance to beat a big team, and on top of that, looking at the league table right now, it would actually cause it would be a bit of separation between the top 4 and everybody else, which would be quite a nice cushion to have. So in terms of the kind of outlook of Serie A, it would be pretty significant for Lazio to win that game on top of everything else around it. So that's going to be absolutely massive, and one of the biggest ones for a while. So I think we need to make sure that we're winning all these games, and perhaps the answer to that is to be not making massive changes to any of them, but at the same time giving various players rest games,
Yeah.
throughout the next three.
Yeah. One thing we have to consider is Lucas Leiva. It's at one yellow card from the suspension. So he has to be careful because, as you were saying, the derby is nearly there. So maybe it's better if he take a yellow card next Sunday. Or, I don't know, what's your thought about that?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think...
That's why I'm asking you.
Well, you'd rather have him booked for the other games. I think he's the kind of player as well who's inevitably going to pick up a booking at some point. But I think he's probably less likely to in a game like Benevento, because I think the instances when Lucas gives away yellow cards seem to be, from what we've seen so far, when he's almost intentionally doing it, to stop a counter-attack, kind of cynical fouls he's quite good at, and to shut down danger. So I don't know how many of those tackles he'll be needing to make against a team like Benevento. Oh, well, hopefully, touch wood. So yeah, I mean, I would probably rest him on Sunday against Benevento and bring him back in against Nice when we might have more need for him and his defensive qualities. I'd be quite happy to see either Moja or Di Gennaro kind of take that role against Benevento. Perhaps somebody with a more kind of attacking outlook.
I think you pronounce the only player I didn't like this season, Di Gennaro. Every time he played, he was average at his best. Never played that well.
He's not had too much of a chance, though. This is a good opportunity, actually, to bring it. I just saw another question we've got from Adi again, who said that we started the season thinking our team lacked depth. Now that we've seen how Inzaghi is comfortably rotating the team, do you guys still think we lack depth? Inzaghi seems like a miracle worker and very resourceful. I mean, I suppose we've kind of talked about that already tonight to a certain extent in terms of all the kind of surprise players we've, like Luis Felipe and so on, who've come through, and perhaps that could be added to by Bruno Giordano, Pedro Neto, who knows. I still think the squad, on the face of it, if you compare it to the teams we're challenging, yes, it does lack depth. I still think we're going to have injury problems that are going to cause us to lose points throughout the season. We've done well to get as far as we have, actually, given the injury problems we've had. Done very well. I do agree Inzaghi is a miracle worker, and he's done brilliantly with the tools he has. But I would like to see, another option for Ciro Immobile, who Inzaghi trusts more than Caicedo, for a start, and also perhaps another wing back as well. But I think the squad definitely, I agree with what Adi's saying, in that the squad is far more competitive than what we probably expected at the start of the season.
Yes, I said it before. It was the biggest surprise. Talking about Sunday, would you start Nani?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Nani Caicedo?
Yeah, I'd be happy to give that another go. Actually, I think Caicedo deserves a start. Immobile needs a rest, and Alberto, I think either he can have a rest too, or it would be interesting to see him actually start in a deeper role where he's been moved back there in a couple of matches before tonight, later on in games. But it'd be quite interesting to see Alberto in one of those midfield positions, or even in Lucas Leiva's role.
And there's still Palombi, who should be recovering. He can be a good option. By the way, Rami Algendi is with me. Yes, get booked next game, Lucas Leiva. Miss Udinese and rest until the derby.
Yeah, well, I'm having a bit more faith in Lucas to not get booked.
We're gonna see.
Famous last words.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we can close it here. I think it was, even though I was part of the show, a big success.
I think so too. Yeah, very much enjoyable.
Yeah, I think the live is picking up.
Yeah, well, tell your friends. And if you're not listening to this live, apologies for all the references to how we're doing this live.
Well, it's to push you to follow our next live next time, so you can interact with us like Adi is doing today. Last question, do you think Inzaghi will use Anderson to rotate with Immobile? He did mention in the summer that he sees Anderson this year. Well, this summer he was trying Anderson near Immobile in a different position compared to what Luis Alberto's playing now. So a more 3-5-2 instead of a 3-5-1-1. So I think that's going to be the position of Felipe Anderson. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be ready for Benevento, but maybe for Nice and Udinese, he could have a chance to be called in the squad.
Yeah, I mean, he looked alongside Immobile in pre-season as well. So
yeah, he was great.
Hopefully, he can come back with the same kind of impact he was making then. I mean, like we said last week, we talked about Anderson quite a lot actually, so I won't spend long. But yeah, I think we'll give him a bit of time to recover and see what he can do. I expect him to be kind of eased into the team in the same way that Nani has been.
Yeah, but do you sometimes stop and think Lazio is third at the end of October with one of the key players who didn't play a single minute this season? How good can Lazio be if Felipe Anderson come back and play like we saw this summer? Where can Lazio be in a couple of months with Felipe Anderson back?
Yeah, and not just Anderson. If you go through the team,
yeah, even
Costas, Wallace,
Nani.
Nani, the amount of injuries we've had, Lukaku, Anderson, and we've just won 7 games in a row in all competitions. It's honestly, it's phenomenal, and Inzaghi deserves a hell of a lot of credit for it as well.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just trying to take it week by week. I'm getting a bit too used to winning now. It's a bit of a strange feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's hope the feeling goes on even Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, I leave you there, Alasdair. I know you're a busy man. You have all the night to do all your things. I know you're very busy with the Scottish League. So thank you again for joining me, and talk to you on Sunday then.
You're welcome. Yeah, looking forward to it. Speak then.
Bye, everybody. Have a nice rest, and talk to you Sunday after Benevento-Lazio.
And there it is. It's Lazio's moment.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. Remember, you can follow Lazio Lounge on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spreaker and YouTube. And always, Forza Lazio.
I'll tell you what, Lazio will be drinking copiously